just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber. You go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel where I talk and do everything pinball. So if that sounds interesting to you, then hit that subscribe button down below. So 10 days after Stern reveals their latest title, The Mandalorian, we finally get the stream via Deadflip / Jack to see how this game is going to play. First of all, kudos to Jack for the quality of the stream. The audio was on point, the video and everything was good, so by all means. So I'm going to be going over this game, and I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start, of course, with the good, and let's go right into it with the shots for this game. The shots in this game were by all means very smooth. They all do and look great, except for one, and we'll go over that later. The display with all the animations and all those assets look good, but except for one part of it, and we'll go over that later. The sound effects, right on. The music was great. Even the non-licensed version of the music that they have added in on this game, where you have the option to disable the licensed music for you streamers out there, how kind of Stern to do so, but even the unlicensed music sounds good as well. The code. Co-op is back. So this will be Dwight's second game to put co-op into it. Now, they didn't go into great detail on how the co-op's going to work, but I'm going to assume it's just like Turtles. You have 3 people and your scores and your progress is shared among the group. But we do have a couple of new modes, and one of those modes is Impossible Mode. Impossible Mode, when you go into that, your flippers have an energy bar. This energy bar gets depleted the more you use it. So you don't want to trap up the ball, and multi-balls can be very hectic because you're going to be flailing about, using all the energy up, causing you to not be able to use your flipper. The game will give you warnings by turning red on the lights. He's got the game coded according so you get a good visual and an audio cue of when you're using too much flipper.
Flipper juice. You're out of flipper fluid, ladies and gentlemen.
So when you hold in the flipper, it turns red. When you let go, it turns blue. It takes about 2.5 seconds to drain and 5 seconds to recharge.
Oh, nice.
And the other cool mode is Hero Mode, which I think they were calling it the Elwin mode, because basically you would put one person out of the group of people that you're playing with who is the better player, obviously. Maybe let's just say Keith Elwin. You would put him as the hero, meaning he would be playing in Hero Mode where his flippers are limited. He has no ball save. Whereas the other players have ball saves and they can use their flippers as much as you want. So it gives the hero, the better player, a major handicap, giving the rest of you guys a little bit better advantage or level the playing field, depending on, of course, the talent of said hero. One of the cool things about this code is when you go into the Foundry, you're going to be collecting Beskar throughout the game by accomplishing certain tasks. This Beskar is a currency that you use in the Foundry to get certain perks, whether it be an extra ball lit or armor to give you a ball save for your outlane. These are just a couple out of, I want to say, memory, maybe 12 or 14 different types of things. That might be even too much. Either way, you go into the Foundry, you have a certain amount of Beskar that you can save up. You can even pass, so you can save up even more Beskar to get a better perk of your choosing. And like I said, I really like this because it kind of like gives you more choices on how you want to build your character and what do you feel like you're going to need. And I really like that mode. I mean, the thing is that you have this menu that comes up and you get to choose what you want. Man, if only they had it on a pin bar, then you'd be able to do it a lot better, don't you think? That is a joke. It's one of those things where even without a pin bar, guys, you're still able to figure out how to use those flipper buttons and make decisions. You don't have to have a touchpad. We all know this. Now on to the upper playfield. This is the premium that they're playing on, so the premium is going to be tilting up and down, making this upper playfield much more difficult. I found by watching the entirety of the stream that when that playfield starts to go more vertical, obviously it's going to get more challenging. That's kind of a no-brainer. But even without it being going up to a higher tilt, there was definitely seemed to be the players struggling to keep the ball in play. While up there, you're going to be accomplishing certain tasks by hitting certain targets, and you will be basically awarded by hitting the correct targets, and you will be punished. I don't say punished, but the targets will flash red when you do not hit the right ones. And depending on how well you do up there depends on how much your bonus score is going to be, like accuracy wise. So like if you have like, I don't know, 43% accuracy, then you would get like 4.3 million points or something like that, of that nature. So the better your accuracy on the upper playfield while up there, then the higher bonus points that you will be obtaining once you leave the playfield. I like this upper playfield better than a previous title. That's the good, now on to the bad. From the time the game was announced all the way up until the game's full reveal gameplay, you had people online speculating as if they were trying to solve a mystery on whether or not Grogu, Child, or Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him, whether or not he does anything. Does he move? Does his fingers move? Does his eyes close? Does he do something? And the answer is officially no. Grogu does nothing. I don't know why some of you felt that Stern was going to keep that to themselves and just surprise everybody at the game reveal. That would be stupid. That is a selling point. Why would they hide that 10 days after announcing it? That would be a major selling point on the initial launch. Why would they go, well, we're not going to show anybody that this actually does something? That would be dumb. You know, I say that though, and Brian's previous game, Stranger Things, they had a hidden UV ink on the playfield and didn't tell anybody till months later. So I take that back. It's not unlike Stern to release a game and not tell you hidden things that are in the game. So I take that back. And back to when I'm talking about the shots. There's one shot in particular that I was concerned about on the initial launch of the game, and it is confirmed after watching the stream. You have the horseshoe shot that is not really a clean return shot or anything. It's very random. Unless you have the premium, then your chances are going to be better that it returns safely back to your left flipper. But if you have the pro model, then every time you make that horseshoe shot, you are in for a world of randomness return. Because after that stream, that ball, depending on how fast you hit it and the trajectory that it goes through there, it could go to your left slingshot. It could go to your left flipper. It could go towards the middle, in between your flippers, straight down the middle. Or it could actually hit the rail and just slide down to feed your right flipper. It's random. So that is the only shot that I felt like was, that's a little, So that's why I put it in the bad category. Twice during the stream did a light bulb fall out of one of the spotlights above the left pop bumper that lights up the child. This happened twice. Once, okay, but twice? Something needs to be done about that. I'm not sure if someone didn't put it in right or they need to make an adjustment or something like that, but I thought that was a little strange that it happened twice. So that was bad on that one, but it's one of those things that, you know, if I was to get this game, I wouldn't matter. I'd end up taking the spotlights out anyways, and I'd put a set of pin stadiums in there and be done with it. I was just recently contacted about a playfield that was horrendously scratched, and it was one of those things where their scratches were pretty deep, and he was questioning me, you know, how can this happen? And I was also wondering the same thing. And I completely forgot about the possibility of a bulb like this falling onto the playfield, because at one point, one of the players actually kept playing with that bulb on the playfield. And if you hit that bulb just right, then that bulb can definitely cause some damage to your playfield. So more than likely, guy, I'm keeping you anonymous because I haven't gotten your permission, but the one that contacted me about your playfield, the heavy scratches are probably due to a player doing said tasks there. And the last item on my bad list for The Mandalorian is how it only happened a couple of times. And but the ball, whenever it's going on when you hit the ramp and it swings back and wants to use the rail system to feed back to your left flipper, depending on the trajectory of that and more than likely even the tilt of your game, the ball falls off the rail onto your flipper. Like I said, it only happened a couple of times in like the total hours that they were playing, so it is going to be a rare thing, but it looks like it's definitely a possibility. Not a make or break, but it's just something that I noticed. Now on to the ugly. And honestly, I've only got one thing about this game that I would consider ugly, and it's this right here. What the hell is this? A static image of Mando. Doesn't move or anything on the screen. I felt like this could definitely use an improvement. And it's like, oh man, if they could have him up there where he kind of just moves a little bit, kind of more of a 3D model that just moves around a little bit. And it's one of those things where, especially after my recent experience by playing the Mandalorian game on the Oculus and seeing Mando stand beside me and how he moves and kind of reacts to whenever I lose a ball and stuff like that, whether it be shaking his head, I felt like adding that on the screen, if you lose your ball and have Mando up there just kind of like, you know, a disappointment reaction to what you're doing on the game, or kind of like, you know, holding his fist up or saying something, you know, as you're doing good, I think that would definitely improve as well. And it's one of those things where it's not specified via Dwight during the whole explanation of the code or anything like that, but the armor that he's wearing is like the base level armor gear that he starts out wearing. I'm curious and I'm hoping that as you progress and maybe you go to the foundry and use your Beskar to buy armor, does that change how you look on the screen? So if you get the armor, are you actually going to look different on the screen, or is it always the same static image? I think that would be a really cool thing because he's trying to implement RPG notes into pinball by being able to choose things and, you know, and use those items. So why not make it to where when you purchase these items in the foundry or upgrade your gear, it actually upgrades how you look? That would be a really cool thing also, like if you go to the high score screens and it brings up your initials or your name for like the high score, but it's also got an image or a 3D model of your Mando standing there, and then you get to basically get a good visual on how far that person progressed in the game. So you know if someone's grand champion and they're standing there in full Beskar with their emblem on their shoulder, then you know that person did very well. I think that would be a really cool addition, but I don't think it's in there. If it is, then friggin' sweet, then I will remove it off of my ugly list. But since it doesn't seem that way, they never mention or talk about it in this video, then therefore it's on the ugly list. But in the end, what are my total feelings about this game? I feel that, guys, this is one of Stern's better games in a damn good while. If you are in for a pro, if you are in for a premium, or if you got a chance at getting the LE and spent all that cash, then you have a good game on the way. So congratulations, Stern, on this launch and the reveal. I'm hoping that everyone that gets these games doesn't have any issues when it comes to Playfield or anything like that. I'm cheering for you, and I don't usually do that. So take it for what it's worth. I'm cheering for you on this one. I hope things go further better-wise. To Brian, I am so glad that this game is better than your previous, in my opinion. I did not like your previous title, although I haven't played it since the code's been updated, but at least by showing me Mandalorian, I see that you have created a game that is, at least for me, entertaining to watch play, whereas your previous title, not so much. So Brian, I'm glad you're back in the game. Keep them coming. So, do I plan on getting Mandalorian? Well, by looking at it, it does look entertaining. It does not look like a game that I would shun away and don't want to even think about getting. I was thinking about it. I still kind of am thinking about it. I need to play it. So, I want to play it, but honestly, it's like, man, I'm holding out for CGC. I really am. I still want to get me a CGC game. I've heard nothing but good about, you know, their quality, and I really do want a Cactus Canyon from the one I played not too long ago. It was pretty fun, so I'm honestly looking forward to that. But don't when it's gonna release. That's the thing. But that doesn't mean that I won't get Mando, because I've been talking about it. I might even put my turtles on location and then get a Mando to put in the house. I don't know. I'm still debating on it. It's gonna be a little bit. I need to play Mando. So whoever gets a Mando around me over here in Texas, by all means, hit me up, and I would like to play it. I would go to where I went to play Turtles, but I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to go back in there again. So what are your thoughts on The Mandalorian from Stern Pinball? Is it a game that you want in your collection? Or are you going to be putting it on location? However you feel, put it in the comments section down below. Give me the thumbs up, really helps out the channel, and if you haven't already, subscribe button down there, ding my dong, so that way you will be notified of whenever I upload something for your viewing pleasure. And until next time, guys, peace out.